Wonderful morning starts with integrity. The integrity starts with you. Splash 105.5 FM.
Morning Splash.
Morning Splash.
Morning Splash. Good morning to you. Don't you just thank God it's Friday? Well, I thank God it's Friday. I'm glad to be here as well. Thank you very much for being a part of today's broadcast. This is Splash 105.5 FM. We're reaching you live from the big brown roof city called Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. It's really, really lovely this morning. The weather is beautiful. If you're heading out at this time, I'm sure traffic is still super light. And it is really good to be here. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm your host this morning on your favorite breakfast show on the radio. It's the Morning Splash, and I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. And my first job here really is to give you updates on what's happening in the newspapers this morning, straight from the dailies, the bonus edition, like we call it, where I just run through some of the headlines in the newspapers this morning. So whether you're driving to work or you're just actually getting ready for work and just turned on the radio, this will be me just, giving you heads up on what's happening in the newspapers this morning. And first up is the Vanguard newspaper with the headline 2023 will not leave PDP, will fight in the party. Wike is definitely like one of those friends that they refuse to leave you alone, but they're always just going to be causing trouble for you. Now the story says Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State says he has no reason to leave the People's Democratic Party, no matter the situations threatening unity of the party ahead of the 2023 general elections. Wike at a Rivers PDP stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt Thursday, the first of such since the rancorous presidential primaries and picking of running mate, also said he would tell his own side of the story on Friday. The governor said that he was interested in preserving the sanity of the party and will stay back to fight for the enthronement of unity, inclusivity, equity, and peace in the PDP. You can read more in the Vanguard newspaper. It's got the headline, 2023 will not leave PDP, will fight in the party. This is coming from Wike. Another interesting story from the Vanguard newspaper. Is this one with the headline, if Katsina security has AK-47, Amotekun must also be armed, Ondo Governor Akeredolu declares. It says Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State made the declaration as no fewer than 14 people were Wednesday night murdered in two separate attacks by suspected armed headsmen on Machia and Mu communities in Logo local government area of Borno State. Governor Akeredolu declared yesterday that his administration will acquire arms to protect citizens of the state against life-threatening marauders and organized crime. This is even as anxiety has heightened at the Ekwegbe axis of Nsukka-Enugu bypass road in the Igbo Etiti local government area of Enugu State, as suspected armed headsmen on Wednesday evening blocked the road, shooting sporadically with AK-47 rifles in search of prey. Now, the paramount ruler of Atiap Chiefdom, Agwai Tiap, Sir Dominic Yaya, said yesterday that failure by government to adopt and integrate local traditional hunters and vigilantes conversant with the hideouts of terrorists and bandits has worsened insecurity in southern Kaduna, resulting in massive killings. Making his declaration in a statement entitled "We believe in one Nigeria, but we cannot have one country, two systems," which he personally signed in Akure, Governor Akeredolu was reacting to a video that had gone viral showing the equivalent of the Western Nigeria Security Network, Amoteku Corps in Katsina, obtaining the approval of the federal government to bear arms. And he said his administration would not watch while its citizens are being terrorized and murdered with impunity. Spoken very, very well, like a governor who definitely wants to secure his people. I mean, it's a shame that they have to sit and watch this kind of things happening to people. It's a real shame indeed. All right, let's take more headlines right now from the Vanguard newspaper as well. 2023, I have better qualifications, track record, exposure than my rivals. This is coming from Tinubu. It's in headlines this morning in the Vanguard newspaper. Insecurity, how I escaped being killed by Taraba bomb blast, pepper soup dealer This is also in the Vanguard newspaper. More from the Vanguard newspaper. IBB urges NURTW to be law-abiding when it comes to the 2023 elections, that is. Also in 2023, candidates to sign 2 peace accords, says National Peace Committee. Also find making headlines in the Vanguard newspaper. Nigeria requires complete constitutional reset. Afe Babalola Re Epu. This is in the Vanguard newspaper, and I'll read a bit more from it this morning. Eminent Nigerians, including the founder of Afe Babalola University, Ado Ekiti Abwed, Re Afe Babalola, co-founder of Newswatch magazine, Mr. Re Epu, yesterday said that the country's constitution needs a complete reset. Babalola and Epo, as well as other contributors to The Patriots, a book on conversations with Nigeria's columnists and public intellectuals on dividends of democracy, governance, leadership, and nation building, spoke at the launch in Lagos. And Chief Afe Babalola said there's no future in the current constitutional arrangement. The nation requires a complete constitutional reset. Okay. All right. So that's in the Vanguard. Let's move to the Punch newspaper, where it also records Atiku PDP dare Wike Makinde begin campaigns Wednesday. Atiku PDP dare Wike Makinde begin campaigns Wednesday. All right. Now, the People's Democratic Party has finalized plans to inaugurate its presidential campaign council on Wednesday, September 28, regardless of the withdrawal of some party heavyweights and prominent campaign council members led by Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike. The party revealed that all its programs would be carried out as scheduled, adding that it had no plan to suspend them for any reason. The National Publicity Secretary for the party, Debo Olugunagba, disclosed this to the Punch in Abuja on Thursday. The party made this position known after a series of meetings by its leadership between Wednesday and Thursday following the pullout of the Wike-led group. Wike, his Oyo State counterpart, Seyi Makinde, ex-information minister, Professor Jerry Gana, Chief Bode George, and other prominent members of the campaign council announced their withdrawal from Atiku's campaign council after a marathon meeting in Port Harcourt on Wednesday. Wow, all's not well in the PDP right now, but well, let's see how they're going to do it without these heavyweights backing them. Who knows? All right, also making headlines in the Punch newspaper, rate hikes may trigger recession, World Bank warns federal government. Electricity consumers pay 210 billion naira in 3 months. That's also in the Punch newspaper. Also in the Punch newspaper this morning, how Nigerians earn forex from remote work opportunities. COVID definitely opened, a lot of doors for a lot of Nigerians, especially Nigerians in tech, I would say. This story you can read up on it. Maybe you're also looking to get, remote opportunities, especially if you're in tech. It says despite the economic slump and high unemployment rate, Nigerians are finding new opportunities in working for overseas-based companies. Remote work is a system where employees are allowed to perform their roles in organizations from locations other than corporate workstations. Such locations could include employees' homes, private offices, or other shared spaces. And remote work has been in practice for many years now. However, the 2020 global pandemic that rocked nations, including Nigeria, amplified the voice of this work culture. The pandemic era threw many out of their jobs as various companies allowed their staff to work from home or other places. It has ruined several economies and exposed the incompetence of economic managers across nations. The World Economic Outlook noted that Nigeria's GDP hit an all-time low with a decline of -6%, and the unemployment rate in the second quarter of 2020 was also at 27%, according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. And this later grew to 33.3% in the fourth quarter of the same period, the NBS said. All right, interesting read. I also saw this bizarre story. I don't know if you saw the police woman on social media that, been battered by her employer. I think there's a update on that. I believe this is the story with the headline, Police Arrest Lawyer for Beating Orderly Who Refused to Do House Chores. The things they turn our policemen who should be protecting us out there. Some of them, turn to bag carriers, carry umbrellas for VIP. The police have arrested a lawyer and human rights activist, Professor Zainab Babiola, who allegedly assaulted a police orderly in Abuja. The alleged assault, it was gathered, was due to the refusal of our orderly, Inspector Teji Moses, to do house chores. house. Abiola was arrested alongside her housemate Rebecca Enechido after a video clip went viral on Wednesday. In the video, the officer is seen in uniform bleeding, seated on the floor and asking to be taken to the hospital for medical attention. First Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi confirmed the professor's arrest in a statement yesterday, saying the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Khali, had directed that the suspects be prosecuted. He said the IGP strongly condemned the grievous assault of a female police officer, Inspector Teju Moses, by her principal, who is a legal practitioner and human rights activist. Professor Abiola and her domestic staff, comprising the housemaid, one Rebecca Enechido, and a male suspect currently at large. Zainab Duke, Mbaise-born activist, grievously assaulted her orderly in the company of some accomplices on September 2022 at a residence in Garki, Abuja, due to the refusal of the orderly to breach professional ethics by carrying out menial and domestic chores at her house. Interesting things we see. Very interesting indeed. All right, also in the headlines, let me take a few more headlines real quickly from the Punch newspaper this time around, from the Punch newspaper. All right, let's see. Okay, we're about to round off real quickly, but what we'll do after winning 2023 presidential election, if you're obedient, you want to read that up, especially for those who are just obedient because everybody's obedient. Read up as much as possible on some of the things that this, your candidates are saying. It gives you an idea on, why you are actually following them and you choose to vote for them. All right. Very quickly as well. 2023, Umahi wants to impose APC governorship candidate on a Ebonyi electorate. That's in the Vanguard as well this morning. NYC to call members, don't tarnish name, image of your family. NYC. All right, that's as much as I can do right now. But don't forget at 8 o'clock, I'll be joined by Oluwaseun Akinola and Charity Jerome. You get 3 for the price of 1 as we'll be looking at some of the top stories from this week. It will be interesting, so make sure to join us then. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good morning.
Morning Splash. Morning Splash.
Morning Splash. They say she who asks questions cannot lose her way. So answer this for me. Why spend money to send money? Why buy airtime without a discount? Why pay fees to receive cash from abroad? Why can't you stream and shop globally with your card? And yes, Cheaper is available on App Store and Play Store. Why haven't you downloaded it yet?